Amazing roles in Telugu cinema, in Tamil cinema as well. 14 years now in the film industry, Samantha. It's taken you 14 years to come here to the India Today conclave.
I was just going to say that took me 14 years to be on this stage. Wow. Did it have to take that long?
Yeah, I agree. We should have had you much earlier, but it's amazing that you're here now.
Thank you for having me.
And I think you're here when you're at your highest, so that's great to see. Let's talk about your journey first of 14 years, and I'm sure you reminisce it a lot because you were a girl from Chennai, you dreamed big, you hoped to achieve a lot. You didn't have any big name, no godfather in the industry, your family wasn't into the film industry either. How did you really kick off your career with a bang, with a Gautam Vasudev Menon film?
14 years, sometimes 14 years feels like a very long time, but sometimes 14 years when you're doing something you love can just fly by. Wow.
These are from your first film.
I don't remember that girl though. That girl was a scared little puppy, very eager to please, and just quite desperate to fit in actually. I think for the longest time, I just wanted to fit in. It was, there was a fear of, I operated for the longest time from a space of fear. I think when your resources are limited, and mine were extremely limited, growing up and coming from having humble beginnings, my resources were limited, so the fear of failure drove me for the longest time. And it pushed me. I don't even know if I operated from a space of love and kindness. I don't know if I would have been able to achieve what I have achieved in the last 14 years. I think that fear was an incredible driving force for me.
When did that change? When did you decide that, look, I'm not going to work and act out of fear, but I'm going to do this to succeed. I'm going to do this because I love doing it.
In fact, very recently, when I got sick is when I realized that the fear was motivating me, but it was also kind of destroying me. And I think that although with life throwing this curveball at me with my health and with the autoimmune condition that I was diagnosed with, I think in many ways, I thought, why me? But after having gone through this ordeal of 1.5, almost 2 years now, I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's so amazing to hear. You see some of these pictures, I'm sure it doesn't sum up even an inch of the struggle that you faced battling this autoimmune disorder. But look, there were many people who didn't know what it was. Did you? What happened? When did you realize something wasn't right?
We always, while we are like, I was probably part of the hustle culture. You can't ever tell me that, take a break. I'll be like, wait, taking a break is for the weak. I'm about the hustle culture. I am about doing 10 things at a time. And I get only 5 hours of sleep and I am so productive. And I get, you sleep for 7 hours? How lazy are you? This was my attitude. And now, I think the greatest thing that I've learned is when I read this quote was, what the hustle culture doesn't realize is that rest is not taking your foot off the gas, it's putting fuel in the tank, which I wasn't doing. I was just taking, and never giving my body a break, never giving my mind a break. So I think that this feeling that you ask, 14 years, but 14 years, to be honest, none of the blockbusters, and I had blockbuster after another, I was called this weird golden leg in the industry because I didn't have too many flops for the longest time. But I can't tell you that those were the most unhappy years of my life, because I suffered from something called the imposter syndrome, where I woke up, where I always had this feeling that I wasn't good enough. I always was scared that I would wake up and it would all go away. I was scared that people would see me for who I truly was, who I thought myself to be, which is not really that great. So I suffered with this imposter syndrome for the longest time during the biggest highs of my career.
So you didn't enjoy any of the successes that you got?
I wish I could say yes, but I didn't. I never attributed my victories to me, my success to me, and never owned it as my wins. I always, if you ever watched any of my previous interviews, it would always be, yeah, the film is a success because maybe the stars, destiny, the hero, the production, the director. I always attributed my successes to someone else.